So I want to share something that I just got to do this last week. I was down in Colorado and I got to do what they call a psychedelic sitter school. We used cannabis, first of all. So cannabis is a psychedelic, and it's a nicer one because you actually still have agency. And so like you can get up and go to the bathroom and that sort of thing. And of course, cannabis is legal down in Colorado, so that's something that they can do. And the incredible part of it was just how this medicine was able to deal with trauma in a way that nothing else really can. And I know that there are going to be those of you that are like, duh, and I guess I really want to talk about this. I've debated whether I wanted to talk about it and share this because where I live, those of you who don't know, I live in Casper, Wyoming, and it is still illegal here. So, I feel like on the one hand, I want to be careful. Obviously I don't want to get in trouble and get my family in trouble. That said, I was in Colorado where it's totally legal. So I want to address this for a couple of reasons. First, I have really been moved this last year by just the sheer amount of trauma that we have in our country and really the world. I look at that couple that was antagonizing the guy in Pennsylvania and ended up getting shot over shoveling snow. And then, there's the guy down in Cheyenne that was found to have killed a 2-year-old. And, it's so easy for us to look at these people and think, oh, what awful people, these people. But the older I get and the more I kind of do my own work on the issues in my life, the more I realize that these people were very just traumatized, and we don't know what happened to them. We don't know what their life was like. We don't understand how they grew up and what their childhood was like. And not only that, but I actually believe in a community trauma that gets passed down as well. So for example, Wyoming, we have a very high suicide rate per capita, and everybody tries to blame the wind and all this other stuff. But I also believe that it needs to be addressed that there was a lot of Native American blood spilled on this land. And, the trauma of putting such a beautiful group of people through something like that and then forcing them onto land that, they're meant to be nomadic and be able to move. And we're kind of forcing our way of life onto them, and that created a lot of trauma, and trauma creates energy. I remember learning in dance that we hold trauma in our bodies, and so sometimes when you would move or stretch a certain way, it would release some of that trauma, and you might start laughing or crying or something because we tense up around it. We don't want to cry. We want to just protect ourselves, and so our physical response is to tighten up. And that's, of course, energy. And I believe that energy carries on. Look at the Black Lives Matter movement and the issue of slavery. And we love to say, oh, but that was so long ago. And, I was never a slave owner and you were never a slave. And that's true, but that's still a trauma that our country holds, and it needs to be healed and dealt with. And I don't believe money is going to fix it. I think that only people being able to do that process and heal will fix it. And I'm amazed at so I was down there for 5 days. We had 4 circles. It's very intentional. It's very beautiful. You say a prayer beforehand, and you kind of go into a meditative state. And my body, I moved around a lot, and I think it was just kind of my body's way of shaking off all this trauma. And I feel so much more grounded. I don't have all this weird excess energy. I don't feel as anxious. And I'm a lot more patient with people. What's wrong? So somebody cut you off in traffic. They're in a hurry. Maybe they're having a bad day. Maybe their baby's sick and they're trying to get home. We don't understand what's going on in their life. And so if we can be in a better place, then we can treat others in a kinder, more loving and compassionate way. And it's remarkable to me how amazing cannabis was in this process for me. I also want to say that, you know, if I look at Casper, there's a lot of meth use here. I know that the opioid addiction is high here, and now they're not giving out opioids as much. So that means people are going to start going to heroin. And I think of all the people that could really be helped by cannabis and helped to get off medication. I know a woman who moved down to Colorado because she was diagnosed with depression and anxiety, and she was on all these medications, but she found out that if she could just go down to Colorado and smoke certain strains, it helped her with all of that. Bella, honey. So I'm beginning to feel very passionate about this particular plant medicine becoming available to everybody, really. And the other thing that I find remarkable is we in Wyoming, we talk about diversifying. You know, we're very energy dependent here. We have a lot of coal, oil, natural gas. And, you know, as we begin to find the balance toward more sustainable energy, Wyoming needs to find a way to make money. Well, we have so much wide open land. Why are we not growing, at least growing hemp and CBD? There are so many things that this plant is capable of. I think maybe 5% we're aware of, probably less, 1%. I don't know. It's been illegal for so long. We've never been allowed to test it. And it's hard for me because it helps me a lot. And so it really bothers me that I can't use that here. You know, obviously I'm not talking about wild and crazy consumption. I'm talking about, you know, very mindful consumption of anything though. You know, we should be mindful about our alcohol use. We should be mindful about the food we eat. And I just feel like this is something that the government has taken out of our hands, and I'm beginning to get very passionate about it. I'm not sure where that's going to lead, but I needed to get this out there because I know there are going to be a lot of my friends that are disturbed by this. The Casper City Council just spent, $35,000 to crack down on marijuana use. Come on, you guys. There's meth. There's so many bigger issues than marijuana, you know? And I would love to sit down with anybody and just talk to you about it. If you're willing to talk, if you're just going to scream at me and tell me I'm wrong and stupid because we were told in school to just say no and that it's a gateway drug, I'm not interested in having a conversation with you. That's just a boundary I'm going to have because neither one of us is going to get anywhere. You're not going to change my mind. And if you're not in a place where you're willing to really listen and learn, then there's no point in talking. But if you want to talk to me about just the different ways that cannabis can help, and just having that medicine available to us can help us, I would love to have that conversation with you. And as crazy as it sounds, I've actually considered running for public office just for this one thing. I mean, there's other issues as well, but I would really love to see Wyoming begin to open our minds to the possibilities that this could be a good thing. And yes, with anything we do, there's always a good side and a bad side, but surely this is better than a mileage tax? A mileage tax. Really? Do you know how many people drive from we have people here that drive 200 miles to and from work. I guess I just want to say all of this ranting. I know I spoke too much. I'm already at 9 minutes. But I feel passionate about this, and I want to be an advocate, and I want to be an ally to this medicine and being able to get it to the people who need it without them being afraid of being arrested. You know, there's a reason that the earth grows this plant. And I think that when we use it in a very mindful and appropriate way, and I think it's okay, even the people that, you know, just it helps them relax or helps them sleep or God dang it, so they have fun with it. Heaven forbid we have a little bit of fun and joy in our lives, right? I mean, we should all be angry and miserable, I suppose, but I just see the change that this plant has made in my life, and the few times I've been able to go to Colorado and experience it and use it. And I want that for all the time. I want to be able to use it at home, since I'm trying to follow the laws, and it's hard for me when I've had my eyes opened to the beauty of this particular plant, and yet I'm called a stoner and made to feel like I'm lesser than or a piece of crap because I use it. And I'm not going to do it anymore. This is me standing up and saying that marijuana should be legal. And I'm going to do what I can to make that happen. I hope I have some allies on my side, and I know I'm going to have those who aren't on my side. And please know that I understand, because just 2 years ago, I was in that boat. This has been a very quick turnaround for me. And so again, I would love to talk about it with anybody who's really willing to talk. And I think we need to start moving forward on this and seeing where it can take us, not only as a state, but as a society, healing our hearts, healing our souls, so that we just have a little more patience and gentleness with each other. I think we could all use that right now. So I love you all. Thank you for listening. I have more to share, but I'm really trying to keep these under 10 minutes. I failed terribly, but obviously this has been on my heart for a while, and I needed to get it done. And if those of you who listened this far, thank you. Thank you for having such grace and love for me, that you would give me so much of your time and energy. I appreciate it, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.